Here's a step-by-step tutorial of how I put on my face paint. First, I use face paint by color Technik. As you can see, here are the colors. Then, you make sure you have some brushes, a stencil. You can use sponges to take the paint off, but I like to use the makeup remover cleansing towelettes in a bowl of water. All right, I first started off with the color black, making sure I get in the corner of my eyes and around my eyelids. It's really difficult when you're on your eyelids, not getting it on your actual eyelash and in your eye. So make sure you guys be careful if you're trying to do that. But yeah, it took me a while to kind of realize not to try to get it on my eyelash because it's difficult to actually get the paint off of your eyelash. Second, I started to go, symmetrical around on the other side of my face. And once again, going over my eyelids, making sure the black is really visible. Trying to make sure that I have a good pattern. And you can see me constantly looking down because I'm looking at the actual photo that I posted yesterday. Doing my little dance. All right, now it's kind of time to start with another blue. So I used another brush, touch the blue paint, and I began going over under my actual eyelid, touching up the black a little bit more. And as you can see, this whole process is trial and error. Like even me coming up with the designs, it took me a while to kind of realize what direction I wanted to go. But yeah, so I'm constantly going over the blue because the blue sometimes can be a little streaky. So, I'm just trying my best to make sure those streaks are covered up. Yeah, that war cry, you feel me? And now it's time to measure it. For my nose, it's time to start with the white. So we're gonna go a line straight down. So I actually got this inspiration from an Indian and African warrior and the Vikings, to be honest. So for those who know why I'm deciding to do this, it's not only because of my heritage, but just because back in those days, warriors would put on war paint before they went into war. I wanted to kind of represent that as far as every time I'm doing music, I'm going to war, baby. So once again, now it's time to look at the stencil. All right, make sure that's on my cheek. And with these stencils, I would recommend buying multiple stencils because even for this video, it's really difficult to reuse the stencils because they're not actual. I mean, they're reusable, but it's just really difficult to get the design perfect the second time around. So I would say definitely use multiple different stencils, which is something that I plan on doing as I continue to create this persona, I guess you can say, just using multiple stencils. So even the stencil I'm using now is a stencil very different from the actual photos that I actually posted. Yeah. Now it's time to put on one of my favorite stencils, which is the Pisces. You feel me? The two fishes together. Once again, like I said, it's a little difficult, so I'm coloring over that with the white paint. Making sure that sticks on my face as good as possible. I had to hold this one down because this stencil was kind of starting to lose its stickiness or adhesiveness or whatever you want to call it. And once again, get the towelettes to kind of, touch it up because once again, like I said, it's kind of difficult to get it perfect. Now it is time to start on my forehead. Since my brand centers around underdog, that's the reason why I have the paw print in the middle of my forehead. But yeah, it's cool. My colors that I represent on my brand now are black, blue, and white. So I wanted to make sure that the paint that I utilized were those colors. So, and the stencils are always going to be white. The black is always going to be at the top and the blue is going to be at the bottom. So yeah, so, just kind of touching it up, making sure everything is good. Took me a little while. You guys excuse the glare. I know you guys can see that glare right down the mirror. My apologies. But yeah, so look in the mirror, we're good to go. Once again, on the war cry, do not pay attention to how I'm holding my mouth. And then it's time to remove it. The removal process is really, really easy. You get the towelettes and they come off very, very well. Once again, like I say, the sponges work too, but these makeup towelettes are good. And we out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video.